Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and to the first new video of the year. I thought before I get back into the swing of things or start anything new, it'd be fun to look back on the year and see what happened and also look forward to what 2019 might have in store. I tried to do this as an on-camera video, but I am not good at remembering everything that I want to say, and then I ended up recording the thing without any audio at all, so I decided, forget it, we're just going to do this audio and I'll just put in graphics or footage or whatever. So first off, I wanted to look at one of the things that I started at the beginning of the last year. If you're familiar with animation on YouTube, you likely know who Jaden Animations is. And on New Year's Day last year, I noticed she'd tweeted out her subscriber stats and how many views her channel had gotten. And she'd done that the past 2 years as a way to see how she's grown, and I really liked that idea, so I decided to copy it. So last year, on January 1st, I was at 33 subscribers with 4,422 channel views, and I had 71 Twitter followers. And this year on January 1st, I had 81 subscribers, which means I grew by 48, which is not much in the grand scheme of all of YouTube, but I'm happy that I'm continuing to grow, and I've already had a couple more within the first few days of the year, so it'll be interesting to see what happens the rest of the year. And something I decided to add this year was my video count, just to see how many videos I upload in a year, which I didn't check last year, but before I put up this video, my upload count will be over 125, and since I've only done YouTube for about a year and a half, I think that's pretty productive. My channel views are at 20,931, which means that I have more than quadrupled how many views I had last year. So even if people haven't been subscribing, at least I know they're still watching. And as far as Twitter followers go, I started the year with 97, which means I only grew by 28, but that's fine. I wasn't really expecting too much here, and I don't really care about Twitter followers as much as YouTube. I'd rather have people follow me on YouTube anyway. I basically only use Twitter to converse with some of my friends, and that's about it. If people are looking for my thoughts, they're probably more likely to find them in video form. So beyond just the numerical stats, I wanted to look at what else has happened this year too. And for the first half of the year, it was mainly what I was doing last year, which was just making more episodes of Wonderland Wednesday. But then in July, I started branching out to create a few new series, and one of those series has kind of become my main thing now. But before we get into that, the one I started in July was Christmas in July. And since we're coming out of December, you're probably already aware that my holiday series is the Christmas Carol Countdown, where I look at different versions of A Christmas Carol. And I definitely don't want to give up that series, but I don't want to not cover other Christmas things as well, so I thought a great compromise would be to do some extra Christmas reviews mid-year. My most recent new series is the Disney Movie Marathon, where I'm starting at the very beginning of the Disney canon and working my way to the present. And I haven't gotten very far on that, but it's a fun project, and I'm not planning to rush it. My biggest new series this year, the one that has kind of taken over my channel, was I Heart Animation. And if you followed me online for any length of time, you'll know I've always loved animation, and it's basically the reason I even do anything online. I write for the Rotoscopers, which is an animation news website. They started as a podcast and later became a YouTube channel. I started listening to the podcast in 2013 or so, and I've written for them for the past 4 years. And the community that has grown around that website has been my main motivation for starting and continuing this channel. One of my fellow roto-writers, Rachel Wagner, invited me to co-host a few episodes of her podcast, and the rest is history. So, with all this talk of podcasts, let's look to the future, where I am hoping to take iHeart Animation even further than it's gone as a YouTube show. Later this month, I will be turning it into the thing that got me into this online movie discussion world in the first place, a podcast. I'm planning to call it the iHeart Podcast, because while it still will focus on animation, like the series on YouTube, I do want the freedom to talk about other things as well, since I have many other interests than just animation. So most of the main topics will be animation, but we'll throw in some other episodes here and there to keep things interesting. I feel like doing this as a podcast is just the natural evolution of what I've been doing anyway, because most of the time when I have a guest, we just end up talking for such a long time that it might as well be a podcast in the first place. Plus, while I do enjoy editing the shows, sometimes when you end up talking for so long, it really is not practical to edit it to the degree that I like my videos to be edited. I really like putting in a lot of graphics and footage and everything, and when we talk for 45 minutes, that video is going to take me days to finish. Doing it as a podcast will save me so much time. And then that way, when I do other shorter reviews on YouTube, I can put more editing energy into those instead. And outside of the podcast, I'm definitely going to continue to make other videos. I have more episodes of my longest running show, Wonderland Wednesday, coming, as well as more Disney Movie Marathon episodes. And I have some other ideas in the Wonderland Wednesday Christmas Carol Countdown format, where I pick one thing and then try to watch all the different adaptations based around it. I don't think I'll start that right away. I need to work on one thing at a time, but the ideas are there. More things will come eventually. In the meantime, if you have any ideas for things you want me and my guests to talk about in the podcast, let me know in the comments below. Animation or movies or whatever. The first episodes will be coming in a week or so stay tuned. Now before I sign off for this video, you saw it in the title, I have some bloopers. I have a few bloopers from this past year that I've had sitting around on my hard drive just waiting to be used for something, so I thought now would be the perfect time. I think I did the same thing last year and saved my bloopers up for the lull in January, and this January may not be as much of a lull with everything I have going on. We'll see how fast I can get everything prepared for the podcast. But I still thought this would be the perfect time to release them. Now before we get into it, these are just from a couple different videos, and I'll have more bloopers coming later in a separate video. I'm planning to have a specifically Wonderland Wednesday themed blooper episode coming, so the bloopers here are just the non-Wonderland Wednesday outtakes. Okay, without further ado, let's get on to the bloopers, and we'll see you in the next video.
Life in the 50s. I mean, people want to throw stones at the 50s. Like, I saw somebody, I was looking at a website online, and I think they had up a 1950s advertisement, and they said, look at all those smiling white people. And, yeah, there's a very dark side to the 50s. Thankfully, we're perfect now, and everyone loves each other. You see what I'm saying? Like, people want to throw mud on the 50s, when in reality, there were a lot of great things about the 50s, and every era has its cooties in the closet. So, just watch the cartoon and have warm fuzzies and wonder why Mickey, where he developed that sense of patience. It was from his life on the street in the 30s.
I like this thought.
But of course, if he really had lived on the street in the 30s, of course he wasn't any more, hardened then. He's given away his cash to the orphan kittens, so he's basically a saint. Maybe he developed more of a temper in later cartoons when they forgot his beginnings. And you can totally edit some of this out and save it for bloopers.
Probably.
Yeah, but you don't need to have a half-hour review of 2 Chippendale cartoons. Analysis of Mickey's temperament.
Yeah.
Now, Maleficent is creepy. The main thing that's creepy about Maleficent is that one scene with the ooh. That you can edit that out, but that is the creepiest. That is one of the creepiest things I've ever seen on film. Is that just the way they built that tension? Anyway, we'll probably be reviewing that as well. Right away, he's pretty much being kidnapped.
Yeah.
In a very cheerful manner by seedy-looking bad guys, seedy-looking anthropomorphic animals, which don't make sense. Like, okay, we have the talking cricket. The cat at the house is a regular cat, but then you have a cat in a seedy suit and his fox buddy, and
I think this is like the Pluto/Goofy thing.
It is. It's like they're gonna make it a person if they want it to be a person.
Yeah. And
I happen to love foxes, so I don't know, maybe there was something inside me that's like, making the fox a bad guy again.
Wait till we get to Robin Hood, then he's a good guy.
Oh yeah. Oh, Robin. Such a manly little fox. I don't blame Maid Marian. If I was an anthropomorphic cartoon fox, I'd have a crush on him too.
That doesn't stop a lot of people on the internet.
Really? I never thought to have a crush on Robin Hood. That might have created some confusion in my mind as a child. I don't know. It's okay that didn't happen. Anyway. And they're walking around on the bottom of the sea with his donkey tail tied to a rock because why not? They don't need air. He and the cricket, the little puppet boy.
Well, he's
and the
made
cricket.
of wood, and I was thinking about that while we were watching. It's like, how much air does the cricket need? Would the cricket be able to survive
would have
underwater?
been dead within like 30 seconds. This is
I was
Disney.
This whole sequence I was thinking about way too logically. I just needed to let things go.
That was one of the hardest things to let go of, the logic of this whole ocean bit. And what happens when you're swallowed by a whale, kids? Well, you end up you just hang out in there on a wrecked ship and try and catch fish in his stomach juices. If you have a kitten, tie a line to the kitten's tail so the kitten can help you fish in the stomach juices. Apparently he was too good-hearted to eat the fish in the bowl, which wouldn't have kept him alive much anyway.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Like, why doesn't the cat go after the fish? But
I was thinking of Geppetto.
My mind didn't go that dark, I guess.
You do what you have to just survive. I guess, yeah, and I could go down a very dark trail with that. Figaro would have been on the menu. But he's too cute. No, we're not going to do this right now. I love you. Goodbye. Go eat some crunchies. Take your fur with you. Bloopers.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video. Like I said earlier, I have more bloopers and outtakes coming later this week, so stay tuned. And be on the lookout for the first episode of the iHeart podcast soon after that. I'll see you then.